welcome back to the HOT6 GSTL Season 2, Calderon Bowl, and Seed was taken out by Patience. A lot of people really surprised by this.
The Protoss vs. Protoss ending in favor of the AZUBU player, the former Prime player who is now going up against the Terran player once again. We saw him last week already against Former, where he lost his game after he won against Curious, of course.
Yep. And SC is the player that FXOpen has decided to answer for Patience. I think he has a pretty good chance. Decent versus Protoss, and Patience lost against the Terran last time, so we'll see.
Shoya is not looking happy. They got all killed last week, and he didn't like that all too much, I expect. So right now, he really needs someone to deliver a few points.
And hopefully SC is that guy for FXOpen. He's chosen Frost as the map. Good map for Terran versus Protoss, and we'll see how this one plays out. It's also a good map to choose because later on when you want to use Lenog, potentially, you don't want him to play on Frost.
Yeah, he doesn't have the most impressive record against Protoss in Heart of the Swarm, but on the other hand, he could prepare for this matchup. If he is the sniper that we expect him to be here, then he knew already that if he comes out to play, it's probably going to be against Patience, so he probably prepared strategy specifically for this map against Protoss, and we're going to find out what exactly that is. We're going into the game in just a few seconds. As mentioned before, the map is Frost, and we have our first Terran versus Protoss of the day. AZUBU is currently in the lead against FXOpen, and Patience is waiting for his second victory here. Maybe he can make that happen. SC, on the other hand, wants to deliver the first point onto the scoreboard for Team FXOpen. Let's see who prevails here on Frost at the GSTL 2013 Season 2. Starting to the bottom left of Frost, we have the Protoss player for Team AZUBU. It is
AZUBU, Patience.
2 wins so far this season.
Yeah, did a really decent job. So, formerly was known as Lucy when he was still on the Prime team. Now we have his opponent on the screen, starting in red for Team FXOpen. Their second player today is the Terran.
FXO.
SC. Don't worry, Street Fighter Boys. Got your back.
Got his back for sure. No more Ken this season.
Yeah, no more Ken. Yeah, Ken was like... Ken was just not on the same level. We had to let Ken go, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He tried.
I do every now and then hear Ken's voice in the subway. He does some voice
sobbing.
acting around. He's doing some stuff in solo. I've heard him.
Well, right now we were talking a little bit about the matchup statistics that we have for SC, and he played 10 maps and he lost 6 of them. So he has a 40% win ratio in this matchup. But he is the second player for his team, and that gives you usually an edge. Most teams prepare a sniper for the second player in case their first player loses. So you can already prepare for a specific opponent, you know about the matchup, you can choose the map. So the second player is usually the strongest in a team's lineup. So it would be kind of devastating if this match would end in favor of Patience. That would be devastating for FXO.
Yeah. Reaper choice is a great one for this map. And based on the probe scout timing here, I think SC knows that he's going to be facing an opponent at close vertical or horizontal, spawns. So going to be able to send that over. Although he is checking vertical first, so he's a little bit unlucky with that. Following a probe like this really isn't indicative of where a spawning location is, especially if Patience is smart enough to redirect here. And it is just going to be a Reaper expand, probably into a reactor after this Reaper finishes.
But I wouldn't really want to know what exactly Patience is going to do here. This is the matchup that he lost last week, so what has he done since? And of course, last week he lost against Bomb, so that's something we can say, well, he just won the Season 2, the WCS Season 2, so I don't know. That's usually a pretty big accomplishment, so he shouldn't feel too bad, Patience that is, and therefore SC has to prove that he's at least able to take down the Protoss player here. But we don't have a lot of statistics to go on for Patience, so this is kind of the third game that he plays.
This is so annoying, by the way, for SC right now, just not getting... He scouts vertically, and then he goes to the top left, chasing a probe on a false lead, basically, wild goose chase. Now the Stalker... Oh, the Stalker misses the watchtower! Could have intercepted the Reaper. But as it is now, the Reaper will get into the main base.
Actually, I think the Stalker is able to pick off that SCV before the bunker is done, and
Yeah.
the Reaper might be able to get into the main base, yes, but there's another Stalker already coming up. And here we go, there's not a lot of units out there just yet, and keep in mind that the Mothership core is very close as well.
Oh, could he delay the command center? I think he will. He delays the command center, the bunker. He could, well, no, he botches it a little bit. Oh, still kills an SCV?
Yeah, kills another one, so the Mothership core couldn't do too much here, and the bunker finishes. He delays the command center, but I think that was actually a pretty decent choice by AC to delay that a little bit. He needed this bunker.
Yeah. And now, the command center's delayed just a little bit. All these little things starting to work in Patience's favor. He also denied the Reaper Scout for so long, and I think... No, he actually still hasn't even seen the Nexus, so he's really not in the know here.
Yep. He has no idea, and does he still have that Stalker around to take down the SCV? He doesn't. He didn't see the... Did he see the expansion? I don't think so. I think he just
he barely
passed
saw it.
Okay.
Barely. So he knows now. At least he has that much information. He's also going into that fast +1 type of timing attack we've seen in the past.
I mean, you would always assume that there is one, but if you don't scout that, that is pretty scary. Now we have actually additional gateways now going down immediately for Patience as well as his robotics, so he could go for an Immortal, maybe do some pressure here. We're going to find out pretty soon what exactly he intends to do. But so far the opening for the Protoss player was pretty decent. A lot of aggression happening here, but in terms of upgrades, yeah, SC is a bit ahead now.
And it is going to be the Immortal.
Yeah.
Good eye there, and with the timing of the resources he has, this is a great choice. The thing is, with SC's build, though, he can hold this because he has a quick stem. He's also getting +1 out there. This attack really needs to kill SC, or the repercussions are going to be enormous. And there go the extra gates, going 5-gate Immortal bust.
Yeah, we saw the additional Chrono Boost on the robotics already, and therefore he's just trying to get as many Immortals out as possible right now. The second one should be started pretty soon. One not going to be enough here. There comes the second one. The gateway is already into play. No forward pylon just yet, but has a probe on the way, if I'm not mistaken there. And we're going to find out if SC is able to hold. So far, he doesn't know what's happening.
Exactly. Great denials by Patience with his sentries at the front, Stalkers at the side, and he's always got enough DPS to keep the Immortals hidden. He's got the Immortals like on the ramp, the hardest place to spot. Second Immortal about to pop here.
The Reaper is looking for the pylons, and he's not going to find them. The probe has not been spotted. Reaper moving in again. Sees the sentries moving out. Patience immediately pulls the rest of his army back. He wants to keep this hidden for as long as possible, but now the Reaper is just going to walk straight into the Stalkers. He knows about the Stalkers, about the sentries. He knows that something is up, and he immediately starts to build another bunker.
Yeah. I don't know if he saw the Immortal with that watchtower, but either way, he gets the second bunker, like you said. He's going to need a third one, though, at least to hold this push. 4 Zealots already being warped in at that forward warping point. He needs another one. He's even got a third Immortal queued up here. This forward pylon is perfectly timed here, and I think SC may just roll over and die here because his bunker, his second one, is not even complete.
SC is definitely in trouble. Here comes the first force field, preventing the SCVs from repairing. The SCVs are just being slaughtered here. He's evacuating a few of them, but the Immortals are already in position, and at this point, SC is really struggling. His army supply is 20 down.
He has Stim, though. He has Stim, and he needs to use it. There he goes, but it may be too late. Time warp on the units as well.
God.
The bunkers are gone. This is a slaughter, as you
force
said.
fields are amazing. They're trapping everything, preventing the heal as well, the repair, I should say. But on the other hand, the army is now pushing through. The Marines are trying to do their damage. Most of the gateway units are already gone. Another order of weapons on the way. And Immortal is joining again. 2 are still alive. SC is in a lot of trouble here. He's losing his entire army supply.
His army is so low on hit points too because of those stims. SCVs are being picked off. He's not really mining properly here. He's trying to get that combat shield out, but this is such a great spot, especially with the extra Immortal coming in now. The Reaper going for a counterattack, but I don't think it's going to matter. That bunker goes down instantly, and everything is dead inside.
Immediately being shot down by those 3 Immortals, and they are going to town right now, taking down everything. A couple of the SCVs are still trapped. The Reaper is going to be attacked here by the probes and probably being taken down as well, pinned to the mineral patches. And it looks like SC is going to suffer the same fate.
It looks like it. Here come the Zealots up the ramp. GG!
Whoa, it is Patience with his second victory. 2-0 for Team AZUBU. FXOpen is in trouble.
Oh yeah, Patience. Playing a smart build here, hiding it so well, and the execution was perfect. The pylon finishes as the Immortals get there. He's got that second warping of Zealots. SC just gets blindsided here. He tried to scout. And in a situation like this, sometimes you just need to scan. If you can't see what your opponent's doing, you might want to scan. You might want to think about that, because that cost him this game. Not knowing cost him this game.
And this is, for FXOpen, this is a horrible position to be in. Patience is a young player. He's the starting player, and he took 2 wins already. There are so many players on this bench that have a lot of experience that could now be used if Patience loses one of his next games. There is still Symbol. We still have players like Boom Boom, like Sandra, like Supernova. So many strong players on this bench that could come out at any point to complete what Patience started here. Patience with a 2-0 against FXOpen, that's something that I feel nobody really expected.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And now, FXOpen has got to pull out a big gun. After what we saw with the Phoenixes, do you really want to use Hurricane here? I don't think so. I think it's got to be Gumiho right now. Maybe Lenok, but after what we saw happen to Curious too, I'm feeling like Gumiho's got to be your guy. We didn't really see Patience dominate in Protoss vs. Terran this time. It was just an all-in that was perfectly executed.
To be honest, thinking about it, I don't know how strong Gumiho is these days. After we've seen him not being played in the last team match, I feel that Choya feels he's not in the best shape to play in team match right now.
Yeah.
Maybe better to prepare for the individual league. So I would assume that we might not see Gumiho because he didn't play last week.
That's a good assumption.
I feel you have to play Hurricane because he's just making waves these days. And yes, last week he lost his match, but it was also once again against Innovation, one of the best players in the world right now. And Hurricane still seems to be the player who has the most success on FXOpen these days. So I feel he is a must-have. For me, at least, Hurricane is a player that you have to play, and then it's the question whether you rather rely on Gumiho or on Lenok.
I get your reasoning here, yeah.
I feel we see Hurricane last and either Gumiho or Lenok next.
Yeah, you don't ever want to play the mirror when you have one of your better players if you can avoid it.
Yeah.
So if they feel like they have to use Hurricane here, even though it's maybe the best choice, it's not a good one. It's a choice you have to make reluctantly because you never know what's going to happen in a Protoss versus Protoss, especially since he already won one earlier today. Patience, that is.
On the last time, when we saw Patience play against Curious, he played really well. But it's a very different style than what Lenok plays,
yeah.
And also it was a map that we would probably not see in this game. Lenok, if he comes out, or whoever comes out next, has the map choice. So that gives you a lot of room to work with. And I feel in this scenario, I would personally like to see Lenok, but I think the next player is either going to be Gumiho, Lenok, and then Hurricane as the last player.
Yeah,
that's what I would assume from what we've seen in the past.
Seems to make sense. Well, we don't even have our map choice just yet, so I can't even tell you guys what I think they're going to do based on that, but who's it going to be?
Yeah, it's Lenok. It's Lenok. Nice. I like this choice. Bringing Lenok out now makes sense. He has the map choice. I don't think that he is the last man standing for the team right now. I would expect to see Hurricane as the last player. That's kind of what FXOpen does, putting the strongest player usually out fourth, sometimes third. And I don't think they can afford to not play Hurricane.
Well, Lenok, he is a beast in all matchups, especially in the Wings of Liberty. He was so dominant. And he did fall to the Challenger League. That's something to note, but still a top tier player. Always someone that you would favor highly against someone who's such a newcomer like Patience, but Patience demolished Curious on Fruitland. We'll see what Lenok's got up his sleeve. And he's chosen Tristram as the map.
Tristram is the map, so maybe he has a strategy up for this, but you can really see that the FXO bench is not happy, especially Choya is looking pretty grim there at the bottom left. AZUBU, on the other hand, of course, in high spirits after those 2 initial wins. And for them, it's great. I mean, even if Patience loses this, he already took 2 players down. And I don't think that's something that even the coach expected. He probably expected Patience maybe to take 1 win, but to bring them in a 2-0 lead, this is crazy good for such a new player, for such a youngster.
Yeah. I'm really worried for FXOpen if Lenok cannot crush this map. I mean, he needs to get some momentum going. Lenok's not somebody to get shaken up easily by his team's demise. Like right now, he's probably feeling pretty chilled out, pretty comfortable. Yeah, we're down 2, our team's in trouble, but I can be the guy to turn this around. But if he doesn't take this, whoever the 4th player is, can't be sitting in the booth feeling like on top of the world, can't even be sitting in the booth calmly and collected. It's going to be really rough for them, I feel. Lenok needs to crush this.
Lenok has to really bring out his A-game right now. He made a few mistakes the last few times that we saw him in the individual league and said bluntly after the game that he thought he played bad. And now he has to make sure that this doesn't happen again. He can't afford any mistakes right now, not with his team being 0-2 already. We're jumping into the map. This is the third game of the day. Patience up against Lenok. It's the GSTL with AZUBU versus FXOpen, brought to you by Cullen Wolf.